PR Connections Radio presents.
Welcome to Vegas Hockey Hub here on PRConnectionsRadio.com, voice of new media. I'm your host, Ian Kelly. And on this edition of Vegas Hockey Hub Recap, where we break down every single game of the 2024-2025 season, we are going to be discussing the most recent matchup where the Vegas Golden Knights took on the San Jose Sharks. And so many positives come from this episode. Man, we have a lot of fun stuff to go over. And especially going up against a divisional rival and someone who at one time was a heated matchup between the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, not so much. But it's still a fun game to be at no matter what. Now, before you go and talk about the game, let's go to www.prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. Over a dozen shows on the platform, so I highly recommend checking those out. I also recommend going to our social media pages at Vegas Hockey Hub and follow your host at Ian J. Kelly on all social media platforms. So getting into this recap show for the Sharks and for the Golden Knights. And, this is kind of an incredible game to really go over because of what happened before the game even went down. As you actually had not one, but two lineup changes and one important player who is going to be out of this game for the Vegas Golden Knights. We'll cover all of that here on this episode. But first, I want to say congratulations and welcome back to William Karlsson. William Karlsson, he has been gone for the first 8 games of the season. He got hurt. He has been out. He's been trying to practice, get back into the starting lineup. Well, finally, William Karlsson in the lineup and skating around for the Golden Knights. And some good news for Vegas is not only would William Karlsson make an impact in his first game back, but he actually would score his first goal of the season in his first game back. We're going to cover all of that here on this episode of Vegas Hockey Hub. And with William Karlsson, I will give praise and say him being on line 3 with Tanner Pearson and with Alexander Holtz. Very impressive decision, I will say, to have that line be there with Pearson, Holtz, and Karlsson. And you know what? William Karlsson might just be on the line he is at to begin, until he gets, fully 100% back. But do not be surprised if at some point this season, William Karlsson back in the top 6 and skating on that second line for the Vegas Golden Knights. But yeah, welcome back, William Karlsson. Happy to see him here. And the roster move that I did mention about a minute ago, Nicholas Hague suffered an injury at the end of the second period against the Ottawa Senators. He skated to the bench, and then eventually we did not see Hague in the third period. So with Nicholas Hague being out, he is going to have he has a day-to-day situation. Caden Korczak, who replaced Shea Theodore when he was out with an illness against the LA Kings. Caden Korczak is in for your Vegas Golden Knights. He is in the starting lineup, and he will be, in a defensive pairing alongside. And, we'll talk about that starting lineup in just a minute. But for Caden Korczak making his second start of the year, and it's kind of been established at this point that Caden Korczak is your 7th defenseman here in Vegas. Over the last couple of years, Ben Hutton has kind of had that role as the reserve defenseman. But no, Caden Korczak has taken over the role that Ben Hutton has had. So kind of an interesting observation there. The fact that Ben Hutton is with the team still, but he has not made a start for the Vegas Golden Knights. So Nicholas Hague is out, Caden Korczak is in, and for the William Karlsson lineup replacement, Cole Schwindt is out of the lineup. So Schwindt, he's going to be a healthy scratch alongside Ben Hutton. But when it comes to Cole Schwindt, he's a rookie. He played a couple of games for us. Now he is going to be a healthy scratch. He's going to be taken out of the lineup. There was speculation that Brendan Brisson would be taken out and Cole Schwindt would stay in. But Bruce Cassidy, Kelly McCrimmon, George McPhee, they made their decision, and Cole Schwindt is taken out. Now, the lineup for the Vegas Golden Knights, and we're going to talk about this right here, right now, as here is your forward lines for this game against San Jose. As for forward line 1, the most productive first line in all of hockey. You have Ivan Barbashev, Jack Eichel, and Mark Stone. And by the way, I do want to acknowledge this here on the show. Mark Stone, your points leader in the NHL. So for your captain, Mark Stone, I have to say, great start to the year for Mark Stone, our captain. Line 2, Brett Howden, Tomas Hertl, and Pavel Dorofeyev. This line has picked up some momentum over the last couple of games. After having a slow start to the first 4 or 5 games, they have really stepped it up and have become the production, kind of 2A of sorts. So the first line is their most productive, and the second line's been putting in the work and doing their job. Line 3, welcome back, William Karlsson. He'll be teamed up with Tanner Pearson and Alexander Holtz. And then line 4, you have Brendan Brisson, Nicholas Waugh, and Keegan Kolesar. In your defensive pairings, because of the Nicholas Hague injury, Caden Korzak and Braden McNabb are teamed up once again. Now, an interesting pairing that we have not seen much, Zach Whitecloud and Shea Theodore. And then Noah Hannafin and Alex Pietrangelo, your 2 best defensemen, they are going to be on the same line. And then Ilya Samsonov, after coming off of a good back-to-back against Florida and against LA, he is back in the net against San Jose. And an amazing performance by Ilya Samsonov. I have to give credit where credit is due. He had 23 saves on the night, and he did a stellar job in net for the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, kicking off this game. Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer out here. I know some people are watching the World Series. I mean, shoot, I was at T-Mobile Arena, and there were people on their phone watching the Yankee game, looking up and seeing the game. Going back down, watching the Dodgers game, looking back up, seeing what's going on in the Golden Knights game. It was hilarious to me how many people are watching the World Series and the Golden Knights at the same time. But I will say this. If you have to have a home run, the Vegas Golden Knights didn't just hit a home run once. The Golden Knights didn't just hit a home run twice, but they hit a back-to-back home runs to start out the first period, as Tanner Pearson would kick it off with about 2 minutes in the game with his second goal of the season. Alexander Holtz and William Karlsson with the assist. And just like that, your Vegas Golden Knights get on the board. And then 2 minutes later, Alex Pietrangelo over to Mark Stone connects to Jack Eichel with his 3rd goal of the season. And just like that, not only does Jack Eichel eclipse a certain mark, but Alex Pietrangelo, 10 assists on the year, and Mark Stone, 12 assists already on the year. And then, when you think the firepower just can't stop, Brett Howden, with his 4th goal of the season, and his line mates, Pavel Dorofeyev and Tomas Hertl, with the assist. So, in the first period, the Golden Knights were just lighting up the lamp, and they were doing a very stellar job when it comes to the Vegas Golden Knights. And overall, watching this game and getting to see it live, this was a victorious way to start out this game. I mean, if you're going to hit, a 3-run home run, you have to make it count. And that's what the Golden Knights did. Any other notable in the first period? I will acknowledge that there was a penalty on Zach Whitecloud, as he did have a slashing penalty. And then there was a shot in the first period that Fabian Zetterlund from the San Jose Sharks, he took it right off the knee, and you could see that it took him a while to get to the bench. You could tell that hurt when it comes to getting a shot and hitting it right off your knee. So an excellent first period for your Vegas Golden Knights in this game. And then moving over to the second period, that's when the action would pick up for the Vegas Golden Knights, as after a Mikael Gronlund goal for the San Jose Sharks, hey, look, it happens. You're going to let up a goal occasionally. It would be a 3-1 game for the Vegas Golden Knights. But after a Luke Cunnin high sticking penalty against Keegan Kolesar, the Golden Knights would be on the power play for the first time in this game. And despite a Pavel Dorofeyev shot that I swore thought was going to go in, It did not. It went off the bar, and it stayed a 3-1 game for your Vegas Golden Knights. So 0-1 on the power play to start out the second period. And then Shea Theodore, halfway into the second period, would get a tripping penalty. He would go to the penalty box. And your Golden Knights on the penalty kill would score a goal. As William Karlsson, his first goal of the season, is a short-handed goal assisted by Alex Pietrangelo, his second assist of the game. And just like that, your Golden Knights aren't just up 4-1, but William Karlsson with his first goal. So welcome back, William Karlsson. Really good to see him in this game against San Jose. And then the Vegas Golden Knights would continue to run up the score, as after not just one penalty, not just two penalties, but 3 penalties for the San Jose Sharks in a span of about 6 minutes, the Golden Knights would be on the power play, and they would score on the power play Pavel Dorofeyev with his 4th goal of the season, assisted by Shea Theodore and your captain, Mark Stone. So, for your Vegas Golden Knights to have a 5-1 game with about half a minute left in the second period, for them to have a power play goal from Pavel Dorofeyev, I really like what we saw in this game. By the way, shout out to Pavel Dorofeyev. Even though he didn't connect on the first power play opportunity, he nails it on this one. 9 shots in this game for Pavel Dorofeyev. He was busy trying to get that puck in the back of the net. With about 20 seconds left in the second period, Nico Strum would score for San Jose. It would be a 5-2 game at that point at the end of the second period. And getting into the third period for your Vegas Golden Knights, and it would kind of be a dud for the first half of the third period. Not much going on. There was a goal opportunity from Jack Eichel that just went wide. Unfortunately for the Golden Knights, it was just a wide shot, did not connect, and Jack Eichel would not get his second goal of the game. However, Jack Eichel would help out and allow the Vegas Golden Knights to increase the lead to 6-2 as about 9 minutes left in the third period. Jack Eichel over to Ivan Barbashev to your captain Mark Stone, and he would score his 4th goal of the season. And just like that, a 6-2 game for the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, this first line for the Golden Knights, if you want to make an argument that the Vegas Golden Knights have the best line in hockey, you have a valid argument. Ivan Barbashev, Jack Eichel, and Mark Stone have a red-hot start for your Vegas Golden Knights. And it's exceptional to watch. To see the chemistry that Barbashev, Eichel, and Stone have. I mean, if you didn't know any better, you would say that these guys have been skating together for 5 years. No, this is their first season skating together. Stone, Eichel, and Barbashev. So, for this line to be so productive, it really is kind of a testament to how great the talent of Mark Stone is, Ivan Barbashev is, and Jack Eichel is. Now, unfortunately, the Golden Knights would let up a goal with about 4 minutes left in this game, as Luke Cunnin would actually get his second goal of the season after having that penalty earlier in the game, assisted by Fabian Zetterlund, the guy I mentioned who took that shot off the knee in the first period. And then your Vegas Golden Knights with about 2 minutes left, Brett Howden, and that second line would come back again, and his 5th goal of the season for number 21, Brett Howden, Tomas Hertl, and Pavel Dorofeyev, both with the assist here. And your Vegas Golden Knights would pick up the victory. And yeah, I do want to point out, and I will say this, that when it comes to Brett Howden, he is a main takeaway here for him to score 2 goals against the San Jose Sharks. And Brett Howden has really impressed everybody in the first 9 games of the year. This is someone, Brett Howden, who has kind of been a question mark as to where he was going to fit at the beginning of the year. But with the Victor Olofsson injury, with the William Karlsson injury, Brett Howden has really taken off. And so far this season for Brett Howden, 5 goals on the year for Brett Howden. So overall, an impressive job. I really like what we've seen from Brett Howden this year. Mark Stone, I will say, very nice performance by him. I understand he's your captain. I understand that's one of the first things you're going to bring up. But with Mark Stone being the guy that he is right now, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the show, and I will mention it again, I have to give a lot of praise to what Mark Stone has done so far this year. Mark Stone is first in assists. Mark Stone is first in points. And Mark Stone is 6th in plus minus. So for Mark Stone, he is having an exceptional career. And for someone like Mark Stone, let's remember what he did last year. Mark Stone, before he got hurt, was averaging a little under a point per game. This year, he is averaging almost 2 points a game for your Vegas Golden Knights. So for Mark Stone, I have to give a tip of the cap to Mark Stone. He has been an exceptional player this year. Outstanding job by him. And I did mention at the beginning of the show that we were going to talk about William Karlsson. And William Karlsson scoring that shorthanded goal. Yes, it was his first goal, for the Golden Knights this season. And, with William Karlsson, it's good to see him back in the lineup. And I do wonder, Tomas Hertl has done a really excellent job on that second line. But will William Karlsson be designated at some point to kind of surpass Hertl and be put on the second line? Or if the chemistry of Hertl, Dorofeyev, and Howden eventually stay, will William Karlsson be a third-line center like he has been in the past? Really interesting. I want to see what that connection is with William Karlsson. But yeah, in his first game back, him with Holtz and Pearson to start out the season with the Vegas Golden Knights. And then Ilya Samsonov, really impressed with what we've seen from him. 9 games in, Ilya Samsonov looks like the starting goaltender like he was in Washington, like he was in Toronto. Now, people say that he is a streaky goaltender. We're going to find out for the rest of the year. But overall, when it comes to Ilya Samsonov, an impressive outing for Vegas, and he has done an incredible job in his first 4 appearances with the Vegas Golden Knights. So your Vegas Golden Knights picking up the win there. I like what we've seen from them. And overall, the next game against Calgary, we're going to do a Vegas Hockey Hub recap show at 8 a.m. on that Tuesday, the following day. And the player of the game against San Jose, I kind of alluded to it earlier in the show, but Brett Howden, not only did he have 2 goals on only 3 shots in this game, but he also had a couple of hits, and he had some solid production for only 15 minutes of ice time. So for Brett Howden, have to give him credit. He did a really good job tonight when it comes to putting the puck in the back of the net. And throughout the first 9 games, you can make an argument that Brett Howden is not the best player the Golden Knights have, but is the most underrated player the Golden Knights have this year. Howden's up there. I put Pearson up there. I think Samsonov, he's done pretty well as well. So it just really depends on what you kind of favor in that situation. But, when it comes to this season, Ivan Barbashev, Brett Howden, Tanner Pearson, Noah Hannafin on the defensive end, he has done pretty good the first 9 games. Shea Theodore, he earned that contract extension for a reason. He's done a sound job. And even Kaden Korczak in his first 2 games, people aren't going to acknowledge it, but Kaden Korczak has actually looked more confident in his first couple of games playing for the Golden Knights this year. So, until the game against Calgary, this was a fantastic game. And for your captain, Mark Stone, I have to give him a lot of credit. 17 points on the year. We'll see if he continues this production for all 82 games. But right now, he would be your he'd be your Art Ross winner. So, for Mark Stone, 17 points in 9 games. Have to give him credit. So, until next time, I'm your host, Ian Rakelli. And here on Vegas Hockey Hub Recap, go Knights, go.